You guys check out the new Corey Taylor.
Yeah, I did. And as usual, I get thoughts. That's
You do? Oh man, I'm glad you have thoughts because it's on our list.
Nate, did you check it out?
I did. Yep. I also have thoughts, many thoughts.
I have thoughts too. So who wants to lead off with the thoughts?
So many nerdery thoughts.
Nate, you start with the thoughts.
Okay. Wow. Corey Taylor, another household name similar to Deftones and Rage Against the Machine. Corey Taylor's kind of, he's a Mount Rushmore guy, right? What we were talking about. Yeah. So I checked out the album, and a lot of the times I'm playing the album during work to kind of double down on work and the podcast at the same time. It works well, right? Everyone plays music when they work. Sometimes it's hard to concentrate, but sometimes it works well. So this album was one that made it harder to concentrate, mainly because it's all over the map. And at first I was like, what's going on here? Similar to the singles, I was like, thrown for a huge surprise and had to pause it and like restart it and like, wait a second, what is this? What is going on here? But I love Corey Taylor. We love Corey Taylor. So it's like, I have to give it the time of day because I respect him as a musician, as a songwriter, as a performer so much that it would be dismissive for me to just move on and not give it a full listen with concentration. So I actually paused work to give it some more time of day. And there's some songs on here that I really, really like. And actually always brings me to the point that as much as I love Corey Taylor's full on metal front that he does, or not front, but persona with Slipknot and rock side with Stone Sour, I've always liked the ballads,
Yep.
like Bother and ZZYX Road and stuff. So Home, as soon as Home played, I'm like, oh yeah, you got me again. This album rules, because it's just everything. So I liked it a lot. I got to give it more time, but I like everything this guy does. So what about you guys?
So I agree. I love the Slipknot Corey Taylor. I really like and love the Stone Sour Corey Taylor. This is kind of a Corey Taylor does 80s night for me, right? And I think it's hurt by it came out in October. I think this is an album you want to play with the windows rolled down in July or June. That's for me. Just listening to it, it's like kind of for the most part, there's a couple of not upbeat songs, but there's a lot of upbeatness to this record that I think would have played really well with 80-degree weather on, it's 7:00 while you're flipping burgers or something, you know what I mean? Or cruising around from place to place. I think Highway 666 is like The Devil Went Down to Georgia if Country Stone Sour did it, which was kind of funny. But it just leads to what Nate said, like everything is just all over the place, right? But love Black Eyes Blue. We talked about that in a previous episode. I think that might be the best song on the album. I like Silverfish a lot. I like Home a lot, as Nate said. And Culture Head I thought was interesting, and I enjoyed it the 2 times that I've listened to it so far. It's kind of a fuck you to the cancel world, I think, a little bit. Yeah. And like, just be you and enjoy yourself. Don't worry so much about that shit. So I kind of relate to that. What do you think, Twan?
Yeah, so I think Corey himself like kind of summed up the album because he basically said, hey, there were songs I wanted to write that were not Slipknot songs. There's songs I wanted to write that did not fit even with Stone Sour. So I want to do his own thing. This is definitely his own thing. I think context is key. So what was the CMFT Can't Be Stopped? That was that and Black Eyes Blue. So I think we chatted about this. I hated that Can't Be Stopped song, but I thought Black Eyes Blue was phenomenal. Overall, I thought this album was awesome. It was really good. It reminded me of definitely 80s vibes. Mm-hmm. It reminded me of like Steel Panther, ish.
Yeah. Yep.
And also like
a little less sexual, but
in some parts, and a light Every Time I Die with kind of that kind of rock, heavy rock. Obviously less screaming than Every Time I Die, but Black Eyes Blue I still think takes the cake for best song. Home, killer ballad. Like I'm not gonna lie, I've listened to that song 20 times. Easy.
Yeah.
Nice.
I've had it on repeat.
Nice.
Kansas. Listen to Kansas. It would fit in on like a Gin Blossoms album. Mm-hmm. Think of it in that like alt rock radio, 90s alt rock radio lens. And in Culture Head, that was another one where if you listen to there's a breakdown near the end that has this like sludgy guitars. It's awesome. But it shows his vocal range. Like when I saw them last year, I thought his vocals were not washed up, but when you go back and forth from singing and screaming, it wears on you. And he had to pull his mic away for a lot of those long notes, and that's a sign
Mhm.
of you don't want the audience to hear what you're
He's
what you're
been
saying.
doing it for 20 something years too, right?
Right.
25 years.
Yeah.
But you listen to Home, and he's just got a beautiful voice.
He really does. I'd be cool if this is the Corey Taylor we had. I mean, I want more Slipknot too. Don't get me wrong, but I'd be
Yeah.
cool if this we get another album similar to this down the road. There's a lot of fun here. There's a lot of things I want to listen to again. I think will be more fun with. I mean, as it gets cold, maybe Home grows on me and Kansas grows on me and Silverfish a little bit more. So there's some. It's all over the map, but I do like it.
Yeah, and another thing, he lives in Las Vegas now. So when I'm listening to the album, I'm kind of thinking like, okay, he lives in Las Vegas now. It's like a very like show production, big lights type geographic, right? And so when I'm listening to this album, I'm like, all right, he's making like this kind of album. As much as I was trying to not think that way because I don't want to think Corey Taylor is that kind of showman, but he is. He's literally all over the map, and he's proven that with this album. And I couldn't help but think, along with the whole Vegas thing and how there's parts of the album that kind of emulate Las Vegas, but also just he put this album out because mainly the way I'm thinking about it is he's probably brought some of these songs to the table with the other bands, and they were like, yeah, man, that's just not going to fit. And he's like, well, fuck it, I'll put out this album that is essentially like a collection of songs, and maybe they're not cohesive as an album, but it's like a mixtape of Corey Taylor's just like, you know, maybe demos over the years. So it's pretty neat.
I don't know if there's truth to this, but it was actually on a YouTube comment because I pulled up Home on YouTube. It was just a video on YouTube. One of the comments said that he wrote it for his wife, but it's actually him on piano. He learned
That's
to
cool.
play
Oh, wow.
piano.
Huh. That's cool. And I mean, it does have ZYZX Road vibes, right?
Part
I mean,
two,
that's
yeah, totally.
straight out of that, cut from that cloth.
Yeah,
That's probably why we all
80s.
like it.
Yeah, I love it, man.
Yeah, I think that's the underlying theme, though. Is kind of 80s hair metal, but has a couple other. It does diverge into different areas too. You know, the hard rock, the Stone Sour type vibes. But it's all in all, I definitely will come back and listen to it again. It's Corey Taylor. I mean, the funny thing is, this album actually showed up in the mail today because I did pre-order it, and I sent you guys a picture, and I'll post. This will be part of the YouTube. It'll be on Twitter probably later or tomorrow. His signature. I think I was the end of the pile. There's not a whole lot of Corey Taylor there. It's just kind of a backwards N. But hey, I got a signed flat from Corey. That's pretty cool.
They probably
Yeah.
forgot to sign it. He just had someone, you know.
Yeah, some stiff did it. Oh shit, this one doesn't have it. All right, well here you go, bro. Your turn. Wonder how often that happens.
Yeah, I don't know.
Tangent for that. You heard Machine Gun Kelly did that with the new album, right? He signed like 13,000 copies of the wrong album.
No.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, for the new album that he put out last week.
No, I didn't hear that.
Oh, yeah, I heard it last week, and then I heard it again today for some reason, and that's why I was thinking about it. But yeah, he did it too. It's like, really, you're 13K into signing shit, and you're like, they were the wrong ones. Fuck,
Oh my
I'm done.
God.
All right, dude,
That
you're up.
sucks.
I mean, that's a crazy amount of time. Like, if you've ever had to write thank you notes for anything, it's like your wrist is like sore.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, I've always thought about that for like meet and greets. You're like just going through the motions for like however long, like a 3-hour meet and greet at like a Amoeba Music or something, where you're just, you know, people pre-ordered the album and they get in line. It's still like 2,000 or 3,000 people you got to like get through. Whew, that's pre-COVID stuff, right? So
Yeah, back when we could do that stuff. We'll be able to do it again.
Yeah.
It's just going to be a year and a half, maybe, or longer. Who
Maybe.
knows?